The Roots are an American hip-hop band formed in 1987 by Tariq Black Thought Trotter and Ahmir Questlove Thompson in Philadelphia. The Roots serve as the house band on NBC's The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon, having served in the same role on Late Night with Jimmy Fallon from 2009 to 2014. A series of coordinated attacks conducted by the Palestinian terrorist group Hamas from the Gaza Strip into Israel commenced on October 7, 2023, the date of Sabbath and several Jewish holidays. Hamas meticulously planned for a massacre of Israeli civilians with the goal of provoking Israel to invade Gaza almost exactly 50 years after the Yom Kippur War began in October 1973. The attacks began in the early morning with a rocket barrage of at least 3,000 rockets launched against Israel and vehicle transported and paraglider incursions into its territory. Hamas killed at least 845 Israeli civilians, many of which were women who were raped and tortured. Others were beheaded, including babies, women, and children, and a minimum of 385 Israeli soldiers and policemen were killed in nearby towns and at a music festival. Around 200 Israeli civilians and soldiers were taken as hostages to the Gaza Strip, including 30 children. The terrorists used extreme torture and violence. Groups of children were found tied up and burned alive. At the music festival, approximately 70% died from gunshot wounds to the back. Videos showed the terrorists shooting at children, executing men in civilian clothing, throwing grenades into civilian shelters, and scores of decapitations. After the murders, the corpses were desecrated. Israeli first responders recovering the bodies reported being extremely distressed by the sight of the atrocities they witnessed. The remains of Hamas terrorists were also handled and collected respectfully, despite the psychological difficulty for the responders in doing so given their actions. At least 44 nations, mostly Western, denounced the attack as terrorism. The day was described by various politicians and world leaders like U.S. President Joe Biden as the bloodiest in Israel's history and the deadliest for Jews since the Holocaust. Questlove and Black Thought of The Roots signed an open letter urging all artists to boycott Israel and refused to rescind their signatures even after these attacks. Don't let NBC's anti-Semitic policies continue and boycott The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon now.